They say one phone call can change everything. For Naomi Cartera, confident, brilliant black woman who had clawed her way through the corporate world with tenacity and poised, this one phone call would turn an otherwise humiliating day into a reckoning that would ripple through the airline industry itself. The staff at Skystream Airlines had no idea who they were messing with when they denied her the first-class seat she had booked, paid for, and confirmed. What they did instead was light a fuse. Naomi had woken early that morning in her sleek midtown Manhattan apartment. The sun had barely touched the skyline, but she was already dressed in a tailored navy pantsuit, her hair coiled into a flawless updo, and her favorite leather work tote at her side. Today was important. She wasn't just traveling for business, she was flying to Los Angeles for a series of high-level investor meetings, a conference panel, and a rare podcast appearance where she'd discuss her tech firm's revolutionary platform. Everything had to go right. She'd booked first class on Skystream using her loyalty miles, plenty of them, earned from years of cross-country travel, and confirmed the upgrade twice. Once through their website and again via email. C2A, front row, left window, was hers. At JFK Airport, she bypassed the long coach lines and stepped up to the first-class check-in counter, greeted by a woman named Brianna, whose name tag sat askew on her blazer. Naomi placed her ID and confirmation on the counter. "Good morning," she said, polite but focused. "Checking in, Naomi Carter, flight to Los Angeles." Seat 2A. Brianna barely looked at her. She typed slowly, eyes narrowed slightly, then shook her head. "You're not in first class. Your ticket says seat 29E. Coach." Naomi blinked. "That's not right. I upgraded. I have the confirmation." She opened her phone, pulled up the email, and slid it across the counter. Seat 2A. Confirmed. Brianna tapped her acrylic nails against the screen, made a show of frowning. "Doesn't matter what the email says. It's not showing in our system. Coach only." Naomi's tone hardened just slightly. "Then your system is wrong. I need this resolved." The woman offered the kind of shrug that sent fire through Naomi's veins. "You can speak to my supervisor." 10 minutes later, the supervisor arrived, Greg, a man who looked barely interested in the conversation before it even started. Naomi repeated everything. He pulled up her name, frowned, and said, "It says 29E. If you don't want that, we can rebook you. First class is full." Naomi stared at him. "Let me be very clear. I am not asking for a free upgrade. I paid. I confirmed. I have the receipt. You gave my seat away and I want to know why." Greg's face didn't change. "We can't remove a passenger from first class. They're already boarded." "Who is it?" she asked. "That's confidential." She paused. "Is it someone from your staff? An executive? A VIP?" He hesitated just for a breath. Naomi saw it. "I need a manager," she said. "You're speaking to one." "No, someone higher. And get me your corporate line." Greg rolled his eyes and muttered into a radio. Naomi stood tall, her father's voice echoing in her head. "Don't let them dismiss you. They're counting on that." A third staffer arrived, Samantha, the floor supervisor. Slightly more polished, clearly sent to smooth things over. She listened as Naomi laid it all out again. Samantha looked at the screen, back to Naomi's phone, and finally said that seat was overridden. "I'm not sure why." "Overridden?" Naomi asked. "By whom?" "I can't say. Sometimes it happens if a company executive needs a seat. Or a high-priority flyer. I'm sorry, but that's above my pay grade." Naomi's mouth went dry. It was exactly what she feared: her seat, her time, her money, all dismissed so someone more important could ride in luxury. She stepped aside, found a quiet spot near the vending machines, and called her best friend, Eli Shawn, attorney who had handled multiple discrimination cases. "They gave it to someone else," Naomi said, holding back tears. "Are you serious?" "I have proof. Email, ticket, all of it. They're stonewalling me." Elise was quiet for a moment. "Okay. Then we go scorched earth. You want this fight?" "I don't want it," Naomi whispered. "But I'm not backing down." Elise gave her instructions. "Gather every receipt. Screenshot everything. Do not delete anything. And don't yell or curse. Let them make the mistakes." Naomi ended the call and took a breath. Then she made a second call to another friend, Leah Sterling, an investigative reporter with a fire for uncovering corporate abuse. Naomi left a voicemail. "Leah, something just happened. I think you'll want to hear this. When she returned to the counter, a tall man with a Skystream lanyard was waiting. His name tag read Owen Reed, Assistant Director of Passenger Services. I understand there's a concern about your seat, he said with faux concern. Naomi didn't bother recapping. I have the confirmation. Seat 2A was mine. I want to know why it's been reassigned. He gave a careful smile. We've done a full review and unfortunately that seat was reassigned per a corporate directive. It's complex. Make it simple, she said. There are times when senior staff or board members request last-minute changes. Those changes are approved by our executive team. Naomi's stomach dropped. You gave my seat to someone connected to the airline. Ma'am. No. Don't call me ma'am like I'm irrational. I'm a paying customer. A frequent flyer. Professional. You bumped me for someone with more influence and you expect me to accept it quietly. We're happy to offer you a hotel voucher and rebook you. I'm not here for vouchers, Naomi snapped. I want my dignity respected. He tried the corporate spin again, but Naomi wasn't listening anymore. She walked away and opened her phone. She began to type. Today, at Skystream Airlines denied me the first-class seat I paid for, citing a glitch. But my seat was overridden and given to an airline VIP. This isn't about a seat. It's about who gets respect and who doesn't. She attached screenshots. The confirmation. The seat number. The staff names. She hit post. The tweet started slow, 10 likes, then 30. Then hundreds. An hour later, as Naomi sat in a cafe near her gate, her phone blew up. Reporters were tagging her. Activists were amplifying her post. And a message arrived from Leah. I'm in. Send everything. Naomi did. She also emailed Elise again, attaching a recording of her conversation with the staff and the timeline of events. Elise responded immediately. This isn't just breach of contract. This could be racial discrimination. The next day, Skystream issued a bland corporate statement. We are investigating the matter and regret any inconvenience to MS. Carter. Naomi responded publicly. Investigate all you want. I have the receipts. And I'm not the only one. Other passengers, black, brown, young, old, began sharing their own stories. They did this to me too, one wrote. Same flight. Same excuse. Another, I lost my upgrade to a last-minute VIP. Sound familiar? Naomi's story was snowballing. And then came the call from an anonymous Skystream employee. I work in ticketing. What happened to you? It wasn't random. We have an internal memo. VIPs get flagged, especially executives. And the people whose seats get overridden? It's usually passengers of color. Naomi's pulse roared. Do you have proof? I can get it to you. But promise you don't reveal who I am. If they find out. I promise, Naomi said. That night, an email arrived from an encrypted address. Attached were internal memos, override logs, and a spreadsheet showing dozens of similar overrides, nearly all bumping passengers with Latino, black, or non-white sounding names. Naomi forwarded it to Elise and Leah. Within hours, the documents were verified. And then came the dominoes. News outlets picked it up. Civil rights organizations issued statements. FAA officials launched an inquiry. Skystream's stock plummeted. The executive who took her seat, Robert Green, resigned. So did Greg, Samantha, and the VP of Passenger Services. Class action lawsuits followed. Naomi was offered a settlement, money, status, and NDA. She refused. Instead, she demanded public accountability. We can't keep letting systems protect power and punish dignity, she told one news outlet. It's not about one seat. It's about every time people like me are told to sit at the back. Skystream eventually capitulated. They abolished their override system, issued a formal apology, and launched a new equity and transparency initiative publicly. Naomi's firm promoted her shortly after. Her story became a rallying cry in both the airline industry and corporate ethics circles. And every time she walked through an airport after that, someone stopped her, not to apologize, not to pity her, but to thank her. You made them listen, a woman told her once. You made them change. Naomi smiled. I didn't do it alone, she said. But I wasn't going to let them take my seat and my silence. And just like that, the woman who was denied a seat became the one who changed the game.